Hi guys, I'm just gonna go and get some food for the doggies at Morrison's. This is a usual place that I sit down here and I can be really quiet. It's my safe place, safe space, and it really is safe, you know, for more than one reason. Today I'd like to talk to you about, well, what's been going on with my health. Last week, my blood pressure went up to about 150, 155, 160. I felt really jittery at home, you know, in the 500-year-old house. And I don't know, I just felt so jittery. I checked my blood pressure, it was 152. I thought, what the hell? And I tried to calm it down. I was relaxed and it went down to 145, 48. It's just too much out of the norm because my blood pressure is usually 130, 128, something like that when I do test it. And when it changes that much, you feel it. You feel jittery and you're like I had palpitations. I felt really nervous. And I don't know. I just thought, you know, what is this? So earlier that week, not earlier that week, the week before, I was trying a carnivore diet, it's called a ketovore diet, which is, a carnivore diet is just meat, different kinds of meat or animal products. You know, you can eat eggs, fish, red meat, white meat, maybe some butter, animal products anyway, salt, water. A ketovore diet is a bit like a ketogenic diet. It's not really. A ketogenic diet, you can eat vegetables, low carb kind of vegetables like, you know, rocket, lettuce, maybe spinach, asparagus, but you have to go easy on the sweet potato and things like that because they're very, very high in carbs, and you're only allowed like 25 grams of carbs a day, something like that. And so the fat content is high. Maybe you have good fats like olive oil or, you know, butter, but butter is more saturated fat. And so you have, I think, 70% fat, 75% fat or more, and only about 10% protein. So it's not really a meat diet. It's a high ketogenic diet. Usually is a high fat diet, low protein and low carb. It's really hard to do. You know, if you can do it, you know, then it's okay. But I always had problems with palpitations because cortisol goes through the roof with me. I'm a person that tends to do well with carbohydrates, and that's because I've had depression and anxiety problems for years and taken medication for years. And like the theory is that during the day, if you eat tryptophan, you know, if you have tryptophan in your diet, in your body, then when you eat like a potato or pasta or a high carb meal, insulin goes up, and that tryptophan, that amino acid, can pass the blood-brain barrier, get into your brain and affect serotonin. Serotonin is the happy chemical, makes you feel good. So that's why they say at Christmas, you know, when you eat the turkey, be quiet. Did you hear her moaning? That's Sally. I've got Sally and Betty in the back. I've got Sally because she's on her period, her season again, and all the dogs are going nuts at home. They're all howling. You never hear them howl. They're going nuts. You know, scratching the door, all panting, and then growling at each other as well. So I thought I'll take them out of the equation. I'll take Betty and Sally here. She's not actually losing blood. It's after the period, and this is the most dangerous time. So they're all stressed out at home, climbing up the walls, going nuts, because they can smell her. They're all excited. They're all eager for love. Yes, sorry, what was I saying? I tend to bloody ramble on about something else. I get sidetracked. That is an ADHD trait. Another one. Oh, yeah. So Oh, all right, going back to the keto diet. Yeah. So the keto diet is a high fat, low protein, low carb. A ketovore diet is like the name implies, carnivore with a bit of keto inside it. So you're allowed to have some low carb veggies, like, so you're eating like a ribeye steak. I don't know, maybe some chicken, maybe some eggs or whatever, and you can have a little bit of asparagus or some herbs. A tiny amount of vegetables. Then you have the Paul Saladino, the like original, one of the original, well, not the original, but one of the carnivores, a carnivore doctor that made the carnivore diet popular. He wrote a book, I think, called The Carnivore Code, and he ate meat, just mainly meat, eggs, animal products for about a year, and then his testosterone went down, and he had other problems. So then he had to reintroduce some carbohydrates in the form of fruits and honey, and so now he says he feels good with just eating fruits and animal products. So some people do tend to need carbohydrates. There was another one of those biohackers. What's his name? I forgot his name. He tried the carnivore diet and he couldn't sleep at night. He actually needed to have a little bit of honey at night time because maybe cortisol levels were up, and the insulin would counter the cortisol and make him fall asleep. Otherwise, he couldn't sleep. He would wake up early. And lots of people that do the carnivore find this. They have biphasic sleep. Yeah. What happens is they can't sleep at night. They can't go to sleep. If they do, sorry, I have to dismiss this alarm. If they do go to sleep, then they wake up early. They wake up about 3 or 4 o'clock, really early. They can't sleep. But then their body gets tired and is calling for sleep, calling for rest. And so they have to sleep, maybe in the afternoon, they have to take a nap for a few hours. So they call it, they call it biphasic sleep. Yeah, they need sleep twice because they can't sleep at night. I think that's because cortisol levels at night are high. That seems to happen with me when I go on a really low carb or ketovore-ish kind of diet, which is carnivore plus a little bit of vegetables. My cortisol levels go up. I get a little bit of palpitations. I'm more nervous, But when I take carbohydrates, it calms me down. So what happened was last week I was doing this ketovore diet and I felt really jittery. I thought, no, this is no good. And I did see my blood pressure go up to about 140 or something like that. And I thought, no, I can't do this. This was at home in my place. But when I went to see usually when I go to see my friend, I'm okay. Maybe I eat differently or whatever. The environment is different. So this week, I think when I was there, I forgot to take my medication one day. And then when I arrived home, that was the second day. And I wasn't sure, did I take my medication, the antidepressant medication, the Seroxat, or Paxil it's called in the States. And I couldn't remember if I took it or not. So I thought, I don't know, forget about it. I'll just take it. I'll take it the next day. And I thought, if I missed those 2 days, this would be the third day. And then my blood pressure just shot up to about 145, 150, 152. And I was like all over the place. And I thought, okay, it's 3 days. I must be in withdrawal. And then, I was still doing a little bit of low carb. And I thought, I checked out videos online to have a look at how to combat high blood pressure, what to eat. Some people said eat pomegranate. Some people say have, flax seeds. 2 tablespoons of flax seeds will bring it down. Magnesium, beetroot juice, bananas, because bananas have a lot of potassium. Well, other vegetables also, like leafy green vegetables have got potassium, magnesium, and will help the heart, beat properly. Because you need potassium in order for the heart to have that electrical spark. Otherwise you can be jittery and you can get palpitations. So, on a carnivore diet, I don't think you get potassium, not enough potassium. So you'd have to, that's why I always thought about doing a ketovore diet. Yeah, that's what seems to happen. When I go on a ketovore diet, I also get like a lot of pain in my neck. And I think, I wonder if because the carnivores say it's oxalate dumping, whereas the vegans would say no, that's you're getting damaged by the amount of meat, making inflammation rise up. And so the problem is inflammation and oxidative stress or whatever from the meat you're eating. But the carnivores will say no, it's your body is dumping all the oxalates that you've eaten during your life, oxalates that are found in vegetables and tea, spinach, things like that. And the body holds on to these poisons, and that they're like crystals, and tries to dump them. And that's why I'm feeling pain here. Who knows whether it's like a Herxheimer's reaction, your body is trying to detox, or it's inflammation. So who knows? So what I did is I stopped it. I thought, oh, well, let me just eat some heart healthy diet, but I've got problems with beans and lots of vegetables, so I tippy-toe around the not around the subject of eating a more kind of vegetarian diet, but I did actually introduce lettuce, first the low carb ones, lettuce, kale, things like that. I was okay. And then I introduced some beans, and I was kind of okay. And so I left gluten-free bread, eggs, but I wasn't sure about eggs, because they can give you like allergic symptoms as well, or allergic type symptoms, like runny nose, sneezing. Yeah, I thought I was okay. So this time I went to see my friend. I kept eating this like a gay kind of vegan diet, no meat, no eggs, nothing. And I was okay. On the whole, I was okay. I came back home to a freezing cold house because the boiler's broken. We don't have any central heating. And at nighttime, I arrived at nighttime, the room is freezing. The walls are like ice. And it's a house in the countryside. It's not insulated by, you haven't got any people next door. It's not like a terraced house. So it's really, really cold. It's like ice. So when I sat down in the living room, I started to feel jittery. And I thought, maybe because when I drive, I get stressed out. I get these people, driving up my, doing tailgating, and that stresses me out. So I kind of speed up, And I felt stressed out when I arrived home. But when I sat down, I realized I think my wife or my daughter, what they did is they plonked lots of bloody bags in my room. I told them, please, can you get rid of that stuff in my room? So obviously not that night because it was too late, but the next day. And there was a cage there with a dead budgie. I thought, what the fuck is this? So I moved it to the bathroom. That budgie though gave me, maybe it went into my subconscious, and I started thinking, first of all, why put a dead budgie in my bedroom? Yeah, but the kids, she must have just, what kids are like. Anyway, I realized our house is too fucking cold because even a budgie can't survive. And I realized that I think I've got mold illness, because in the corner of my bedroom there's a little bit of mold. There's some dots there. And at night time, that night I had night sweats. I thought, what the fuck is this? Why have I got night sweats? What the hell? I was sweating at night, and I thought, no, I was okay last night in my friend's house. See, my friend, she lives not in a rural area. She lives in a built-up area in a town, and her house is tiny, but it's very warm and dry. Our house is in the countryside, no central heating, freezing, and it has mold, like pockets of mold. Because this winter, the central heating has been off because the boiler is so expensive. There's a few £1,000s to get a new one. It's one of those old-fashioned boilers. I mean, we fixed the boiler. I thought it was a boiler, but it's a cylinder. That cost 900 quid. But and now the other boiler's gone. The actual boiler, which sits, I think, outside the house. I don't know. But that's going to be a few grand. It's really expensive. I just don't have the money to fix it. So I tell you, I don't want to have a winter like this, like freezing cold. Like you come back, it's like embarrassing. You come back to your house. You'd rather, it's warmer in the car than it is in the house, because those the walls have been penetrated by cold, and they're so cold. Somebody said, really funny. Somebody said, have a cold shower that will warm you up. Usually that could be the case, because the body, you have that hormetic response. The body reacts and makes you warm, right? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I agree. But the thing is, when you're so cold, when the cold penetrates into the bone, it feels like the cold has penetrated into my bones, not just the surface, but really, really deep inside. Like sometimes, like I go to bed and my feet are so cold, and I've got the electric blanket on, and I have to thank my friend who actually bought it for me. The lady that the friend that I go and see. If I say lady, people think bad of her, but the friend that I go and see, she ordered it for me and it arrived, and it's really good. I switch it on half an hour. Now I have to switch it on half an hour on full power in order for me to get into when I get into the room, it's freezing. The room is actually freezing at night. I have to wear a hat and I have to go into the sheets with my clothes on and warm up, and then take my trousers off in the actual bed. And I have to keep my trousers in the bed, because if I keep my trousers outside and my clothes outside, when I wake up in the morning, like I'm shivering, and as soon as I come out of the sheets, if I try and put those trousers on, it's freezing, absolute. They're like ice. So when your body's so cold to the core, you can't have a shower, you bloody kill yourself. So yeah, when I get into the blanket, my feet, I have to put my feet, I raise my knees up so my feet are flat. It takes ages for the heat to actually get into my toes, into the bones of my feet. It takes ages, like half an hour, maybe 40 minutes. I mean, a long time. 1 hour, maybe later. It's still fucking cold. Sorry, still cold. So I think I might have mold illness. It might be the mold, because when I come back, it's so cold, and then I feel jittery. My blood pressure goes up, night sweats now, because it's springtime, but it's still cold in the countryside. And maybe the mold has taken hold. Some people suffer from mold illness, a little bit of mold, and they feel really terrible. Others can take it. So I don't know. I think I'm one of those people who can't take the mold. It's funny because I go and see my friend and I start to recover. And then when I come home, I start to feel ill. I felt nervous in the past, but now it's getting really bad. Like when I come back, blood pressure goes through the roof, not through the roof, but 150, 55, that's a lot for me. It's never that much. And I know when my blood pressure is high, because I'm all jittery, I've got palpitations, my head is not right, I feel scared, I'm hyperventilating, a little bit like I am now. It's like having like 10 cups of tea at the same time. You're like this, and I know my blood pressure is really high. Yeah, you do have arguments at home as well, and the situation with the house is all over the place. The lady indoors with her harebrained schemes, I'm not going to listen to her anymore. I just said to her, look, let's just sell the house now. No more scheming, no more. Let's just sell the house, because I can't stay in this environment anymore. I can't stay in an environment when I'm getting like 50 quid a week. I'm living like a pauper. And also it's really unhealthy for me, this house now. I've fallen out of love with this house like a long time ago. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I think I have mold illness, because there's mold in the house. In the bathroom, I saw 5 lots of mold. And I tell her indoors, look, can you clean it? She goes, why don't you do it? I said, I've got a mold problem. How can I do it? It's like asking somebody to dust their room if they've got a dust allergy. Everyone else doesn't feel it, but I feel it. So obviously I've got a problem with mold. And that's the thing with mold illness. You can have people in the family who don't have symptoms. But my daughter, for example, Annabella, she definitely has symptoms. Now she's okay because she's going to school every day. She's out of the house. But when she comes back on holiday, spots everywhere, asthma gets worse. So I know there's a problem in the house. But now it's actually worse. I thought it was just a kitchen, because the kitchen is the place where there's warmth in the house. And so you've got warmth in the kitchen, and cold outside, on the window, you're going to get condensation. But now I think it's everywhere because the winter has been cold and the whole house is like ice. It's like ice. You touch the wall and you have to pull back as if you just touch a heat source. It's the opposite. Cold. It's like ice. It's like stinging. So cold. Like the wall in my bedroom. Sometimes I put my hand up and touch it and it's so cold. It's just like ice. You can't live that way, and I don't want to live another winter like that. Thank God. I always say thank God that I met this lady, and I can go there and have some respite from that house, from stress of family. That's one thing, but also stress of the house. The house itself is stressing me. And I remember, was it last year or 2 years ago, I was saying that the house is making me sick. I already knew there was either a dust problem, a mold problem, or maybe the dog dander. But it's not that. I think it's the mold. The mold is the main thing. There's the kitchen that is moldy, but the whole house now is moldy. You'll find places everywhere. The downstairs toilet, upstairs toilet, the kitchen. I can see places that there's mold. I'm going to put my mask on and put the mold spray and kill it. But there's no point. I mean, it's going to come back again unless there's warmth in the house. That's a massive house. And we've got a tiny heater, electric heater my dad used to use. That's not going to heat up anything. The only thing is now to wait to kill the mold. If there's any wet, dry it up. Especially in the bathroom upstairs, it's always wet because they're always showering themselves. I haven't had a bath in that place I have a bath in my friend's place. I don't even have a bath there anymore. Now that I've seen I look up above and I see 4 patches and a 5th one. No, I'm not having any bath in that room. I don't even want to go into that room anymore. I never did, really. It was their kind of office, all the girls in the house. They take over the bathroom. Yeah, so that's what I've been thinking about, the mold illness. I believe I've got mold illness, really, and it seems to be like affecting me. As soon as I arrive, it's cold. Maybe the coldness. I thought maybe the coldness brings my blood pressure up. I think it can do, just the freezing cold. But then at night time, I was having night sweats, and I thought, I haven't eaten anything made of wheat. I haven't eaten any junk food. What is this? And I realized I turn around to my right, there's a mold patch not above my head, but say like a meter or 2 away, about 2 meters away or whatever, in the corner of the room. And that's been there for a month. I've seen it, so I'm going to kill it today. I'm going to put the mold spray and kill it. But if that's visible, there's other little bits of mold that are not visible, especially on the wood. Well, anyway, yeah. So that's my talk today about mold, and I think mold is one of my main problems. So I just need to leave this place. And I was right a few years ago. Like the house is making me sick. And it makes me sick in certain periods. Because when I go to my friend's house, it's warm and dry. And usually in the spring and summertime, I feel great because the house is warm. It's warm, all the windows are open, it's hot, it's warm outside, hot outside. And mold dissipates, doesn't it? It dies or, goes down. And so that's how I feel better. So that's another reason I have to get out of this house. I tell you, I'd rather sleep in the car. There's no mold in the car, but it takes so much fuel just to keep this warm, this car. And the fuel goes down. So it's not really a viable option. Or maybe it is, maybe I have to think about my health and just, I don't know. I don't know about sleeping in a car though. Bloody hell. Those are my thoughts at the moment. Bloody gloomy day. Another grey, gloomy day. England would be great if it was that. If we had more fucking sunny days. Anyway, have you guys suffered from mold toxicity, or is it strange to say that my house is killing me or my house is making me sick? I thought there was maybe some spirits or something. Every time I went to the house, I felt sick, absolutely sick. And when I say sick, like nose running, sneezing, night sweats, all this, you know, eyes itchy, all kind of allergic symptoms. But now I've got bloody palpitations, high blood pressure. And after that, the blood pressure went down. You know, when I went to my friends, I know it's down because I can feel it. When it gets to like 120/80, I feel normal. When it gets to 130, 140, I feel bad. I can feel it. So anyway, I'll speak to you guys another day. Love yourselves, as always. And buy me a coffee, please. Well, actually, I've got a tea here. It's bloody cold. It's cold as hell. Well, hell isn't cold. It's cold. But at least it's my own tea that I made at home. If I had some hot water, I can put some hot water in it. But when I go home, I put some hot water in it and stay in the car. I bet someone out there has suffered from mold toxicity. You can get brain fog. It can affect you, like, you know, like dementia-wise. And oh wow. So mold isn't a good thing, you know. It can create disease or disease state. Anyway, I just have to get out of this house, you know, because it's affecting me more ways than one. Thanks for listening. Yeah, buy me a coffee if you can. If not, then buy yourself a coffee. Make yourself a coffee. Have one on me, as they say. All right, so I'll speak to you guys in another video. And I hope you're safe. Love each other. Love yourself. And if you're somewhere where it's sunny, bloody take advantage of that sun. If you look at it outside here, it's just grey, whitish grey, and cold. No sun anywhere. All right, speak to you guys later. Bye.
Empty hearts and neon lights. They're playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight.